So a big talker within the CMS community since the top of the year, big changes within CMS's magnet school offering. So basically a restructuring of magnet programs with the goal of making it more efficient for families. Here on the program, an Aggie here on the program.
Right.
I told her I love the
Pride.
Aggie, so I'm not gonna Aggie Pride. I'm not gonna give her no problems. Welcome to the show, Deputy Superintendent of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, Dr. Melissa Balknight. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so great to be here today.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Explain this proposal because there's a school board meeting tonight. Lay it out for folks who are not familiar and for families who are familiar but just want to hear you explain it.
So originally, thank you so much. Originally, we were going to, the board was going to make some decisions tonight, potentially make some decisions as far as the vote tonight. But based on feedback from a few board meetings ago, we decided to go back out into the community, ask families to engage with us if they have not, if they'll go to our website or our social media, and if they just type in school choice, program choice, they'll see a QR code information as well. Hopefully it'll be on your website later, that they can go and give us their feedback. Because one of the things that we heard from families, this is great. It's a lot of information to absorb, so we need some more time. We want to make sure that every voice is in the room, so we've gone back out into the community because every voice matters in this decision. And the goal of this program choice decision is to make sure that every transportation zone has access to the same program opportunities. And so to provide consistency and to make sure our families have the gold standard in program choice. We have about 22,000 families that access our program choice now, and we would love for more families to take us up on it.
So going from 16 to 6, right? Okay.
That's right. 16 to 6 themes.
Okay.
And one of the themes, in fact, we're going to go back out into the community separately in December, LITDIB, simply because, again, the feedback just said it's so complicated, we need more time. So we decided to even push that out even farther and make that its own separate community engagement. But for the other programs, we're out in the community now to get feedback with hopes that we'll share some final recommendations to the board in a few weeks.
Yeah, some of the feedback I heard, to your point, transportation, and
Yes.
also families, when they plan something, you're not talking about 1 year, 2 year. They're talking about the long haul.
It's a commitment.
And so it's really just kind of overhauling their plans
Yes.
as well. I guess off that, I want to ask, what did you learn from these feedback? I know there are more feedback sessions, community sessions coming, but what did you learn through these initial ones?
Well, parents were very appreciative that they felt like decisions had not been made, which they have not. They felt like we were truly going out to get feedback from the community. And we actually have taken their feedback and even shaped where we are with our recommendations this far. And we'll continue to do so till we make the final recommendation. The other thing that we learned is that people just want to be heard and they want to be a part of the process. Because to your point, we're asking families to potentially make a decision for a 5-year-old that could impact them until they graduate from high school.
The school board members, how do you present this plan to the school board and make them understand? Because they have constituents, which are these families, but how do you make it make sense for the school board in order for them to come around and answer these questions from families?
Well, our Board of Education is amazing, and they've done a really good job of asking questions along the way. We presented this presentation multiple times. We really started this work in 2023, and so they moved us to here to focus on letter A and B of policy, AS-GP. And so one of the things that they've asked us to do is really focus on our program choice and operational efficiency. While there are 5 pieces to that policy, we're focusing on the 2, and then we'll go and do some additional stuff next fall. And so they've been very intentional about how they want this to be laid out because it's very complex, and they want to be able to make informed decisions.
So the plan originally to implement it 2027, 2028.
Yes.
Does that timeline move back now to the next school year?
So great question. So we're able to push the timeline until August. So at
Okay.
this point, potentially, we would go back to the board after there's a public hearing, after we present some recommendations in a few weeks. We would do the final the vote in August.
Okay.
That would allow us to get ready for the lottery. And so that's the window. So if we're not able to make decisions by October, then it would be delayed another year. But we're still right now okay to move forward because as long as we get the vote in August and get direction from our Board of Education, then we could put the appropriate changes in the lottery.
What do you hope to hear? Or what questions are you anticipating to hear from? We have more community feedback sessions coming up. What are you hoping to hear? What are some of the questions that you are anticipating to answer from families?
We've had a lot of questions, but we've also heard a lot of thank you. We're glad you're doing this. This makes sense. Because the goal of this whole project was to uncomplicate program choice, to make it not so overwhelming to families, and also to make sure that all families knew that they had access to this opportunity. And we've heard a lot of that feedback from our families. We've also heard from our families, you know what, you have 185 great schools. Make sure that you recognize our home schools as well.
I got to ask about a part of this plan is the early college, middle college.
Yes.
Portion of this. Where do we stand on that? Can you break that down for us?
So we've gotten lots of feedback. We've done visits to the schools. We're going to talk to some students, I think, in a few days to get some additional feedback. We talked with school leaders. And again, we've been talking about middle colleges to early colleges for a couple years now.
Yeah.
We continue to look at the data, and the data says that there's lots of interest. We have long wait lists for our early colleges. So we think that we're moving in that direction, and we have lots of support so that children will have access as early as ninth grade.
It pretty much, I guess I should have better explained it, consolidating, right?
Yes.
Why now? I know with the early college piece, 2024, I remember,
Yes.
new to the area, I remember hearing those conversations.
Right.
But overall, this plan, why now?
So in 2024, we made the recommendation, and the board said we don't feel like this is the decision for the time. But as we continue to have lottery season, get interest in programs, our wait list gets longer and longer. And I think right now we have 1,300 kids on the wait list for the early college. And so we have 1,300 students that have said, I would like to have a seat there, and we don't have the seats. But if we're able to transition all of our middle colleges to early colleges, that would open up 800 freshman seats for students. So we believe that that's the direction to go in. We have to meet the needs of our customer.
Can you talk about the impact of early college? Because that
Yes.
was, it's been around for a while, but I
Yes.
don't think people understand the impact of
It's
early
very
college.
powerful. So we have kids that just recently or will graduate even this week. I haven't gone to graduation, so this week will graduate with their 2-year associate's degree before they get their high school diploma. So they'll get their 2-year associate's degree before they graduate with their high school diploma in June. And what I like to say is if life happens and you aren't able to go to complete the 2-year degree to a 4-year degree, you have a 2-year associate's degree. Everyone now doesn't have to go to college for 4 years to be successful. Children have to define what success looks like for them, and they get lots of credentials and certifications with that 2-year associate's degree. I had a young lady that was at our 3E event that had a 2-year associate's degree that graduated from Philip O'Berry, and she's making $80,000+.
Oh, man.
So she's working because her family would not be able to afford to send her off to school. So now she's able to help the family, and she's also continuing on because that's what she decided to do to finish her engineering degree at LSU online while she's working here at a local firm. So I was in awe of her, and it's just amazing the stories that you hear about how it's life-changing for children and families, and it also meets the needs of students that maybe say, I don't want to go away to college, that's not my path. But also if a child decides to go off to college and they want to go to medical school or something else, they've already gotten a 2-year jump start on that. So it's for all types of students. It's not for one specific student, which is why I believe we have a wait list that's so long.
People have warmed up to, I'm a product of Guilford County Schools, so people have really warmed up to the concept
Yes.
of early college because
Yes.
we saw just one pathway, right?
Yes.
We didn't see this pathway. It
Yes.
was there, but we didn't,
Right.
we don't know about that. That sounds pretty risky.
Right, and if you think about 20 years ago, it was frowned upon if you weren't going to the traditional university way to school. So now we're saying the 2-year associate's degree is wonderful, and it's wonderful for all types of students, going into the military, going straight to work, or going off to university. It works for all types of students. Students still have access to athletics and other things at their home high school. They have a great school community at their early college program. It's such a unique place. They get access to internships and apprenticeships, so it's a win for the students. It's great. I wish those things were available when I was in school.
And I definitely wasn't making $80,000 my first full-time big boy job. So,
Right. She's barely 20 years old.
man, shout out to her.
Exactly. Yes.
Dr. Melissa Balknight here in studio with us, Deputy Superintendent of CMS, also a beloved Aggie. I would like to say that. There you go.
Die-hard Aggie.
Die-hard
yes,
Aggie.
Let's just say that.
I'm assuming you're going to be at homecoming this year.
100th year. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Well, she's going to be at homecoming if you want to say hi. But
Yes.
but thank you for stopping in again.
It's
I know
been
this is a
amazing.
very robust, complex plan that's happening, and again, that vote expected in August
Yes.
from the school board.
Yes.
So we should learn more in the
Yes.
coming months.
We want our parents to engage, give us feedback. Please go to our website, complete the form there, give us your feedback. We will have community engagement in a few weeks. We invite families to come to that as well, but we definitely want our families to engage in the process. All voices matter.
All right. Again, thank you for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Of course.